Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video, and today this is going to be a very special episode because this is the Music Producer Breakdown, episode 2. This is going to be about Through the Wardrobe. It is a original score that I made for my community theater's production of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They asked me if I could compose some music and do some sound design for it, and so that's what I did. I did a lot of sound design. This is going to be part 1 of possibly 2 or 3 because the album is actually officially releasing April 10th. Hopefully I get this video out before then so you guys can get a little teaser of what it is. But if you want to see like the whole thing and even some bonus content, go over to my music channel and you can just listen to it there. Yeah, this is just going to be a very special episode because I get to talk about the show. I get to talk about what I did for it and all my inspirations, such and such. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, we always start at the top, from War. This was when the director wanted me to involve it being from the 1940s, because it starts off in War, the movie, and in the book it starts off in 1940s World War II, like right almost at the end of it, but still really bad. But in the play, there's no lead up to it. There's just, they end up at the house and at the mansion already. So this is what I did. This is the beginning of the show, where the show goes lights down, and then we hear out of nowhere, the beginning, we hear this. Hell yeah. Beautiful. When I was doing it with them, I was noticing all the tones that was in the siren, and then I found a little thing that harmonized with it just right. Not you. It was some strings, G minor, F7, E flat, G minor again, and then ends off with the little D sharp, E flat. Because this was sinister, it was eerie, it was supposed to be enticing, and therefore things had to harmonize in an ugly yet satisfying way. And they're all just rising up slowly. You see that? That's so scary. Basically, it's just Valhalla Supermassive, which is always great. It loves to make my job a lot easier with space. Space. It's so cool. And we end off with the train sound effects, which lead them into, finally, the mansion, which drops them off. Bang. Which drops them off, and then they finally get to the mansion, and the main cast comes in. Put a picture on screen. Gosh, they were amazing. I've been given permission by the people involved that I can share some of their names, so I'm going to share some of them now. Kendall, an amazing Peter, such a solid person. She is just absolutely amazing, blew us all away. And Scarlett and our Lucy for the show, the little one. Oh my goodness, everyone was just so great. And Edmund played a solid role in just being just kind of a simp, but also like a really good young teenager. Just a solid actor for that one. So after we get into there, we get to Wonder, where Scarlett loses track of Lucy, and then we get trapped directly into Narnia. Basically, we get some choirs and we get some sound effects here. Some risers, reverse riser, and a heavy impact. And the most beautiful chords ever. F sharp minor, B minor 7, C sharp minor 6, add this note, /11, there we go, and a B sharp 11 to add some mysterious into that. But it sounds really cool. But then you add on top of that, you get this little thing to go with the impact. That's probably a sub bass. Yeah, it's a little sub bass to aid this impact. Love it, love it, love it. And then we get to save these for later because those are the main ones. I was really inspired by Hans's orchestration, obviously, because you had to start from somewhere. Hit them. Just being the bird sound because these are from labs. Moving on, we have the Faun and the Witch. This is where we, after we meet Mr. Tumnus, which was played by a lovely character, Miles. Put a picture on screen. Miles, good lord, this man can act in his lower register, and it's so good. They call me Tumnus the Trembler, not Tumnus the Terror. It's just so good. He was so great. Love him. Scary strings. These are probably very much in the background, so you can't really hear them unless you add everything together. Everything, and these are wide scrolls I have to do. To make this go faster, I'm going to play the horn section real quick, because we love horns. This. And this always a lot. It's just a lot of like one of the big loud foghorn plugins from labs. Hey, and if you're enjoying this episode so far, why don't you hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe, because I make reaction content to animation, music, and much more. If you want to make your own reaction requests, comment down below. And if you want to see some really fun, more serious content, head over to Helluva Team. That's where I music produce, voice act, and story write for them. We currently only have one big project out, but we have like 6 or 7 more really big, huge projects coming this year. So if you want to see more, subscribe to them, subscribe to me, and let's get back to the video. Next up is Christmas Returns with reindeer incoming. It's different from horses incoming. And we're back with the string chatter here. Don't those just sound so cute? The Beaver family takes in the main 4, and Father Christmas comes in and gives them all their gifts. Obviously, the reindeer incoming is like, why is it scary? Why is it so scary? It's because this thing. It's the low tremble. Mainly because it's the same thing that is, it's a similar thing. It's a similar thing that from the horses incoming, because they believe that this is her because of the original sound with this. So it's always, they both ride sleighs, and they both pretty much slay. Speaking of which, the White Witch, Francesca, good lord, I had so much fun writing her stuff. It was super cool. I loved every second of it. She's such an amazing actor. She really brought the musician out of me, I would say, to make things scary. So yeah, it was just really great. You'll see more of her stuff. You'll get to hear more of it if you go listen to the music, either on my music channel or on my Spotify. Next up, All Hail the King. Aslan. We meet frickin' Aslan, a lovely actor called Heather. She played an amazingly powerful Aslan. Such a polar opposite, sort of, in the dynamic between Aslan versus the White Witch, because they're so evenly matched. They're just like sisters, but the White Witch was obviously evil and slightly jealous of Aslan's power, while as Aslan was mainly just looking out for the people. And obviously there's a lot of religious aspects woven in between, but this is All Hail the King. This is right when we meet Aslan. This is when the 4 kids meet Aslan and a couple of troops that he has along with him, like the centaur, the unicorn, the white stag sometimes, some of the beaver family, etc., etc. This is when they all kind of come out of the woodworks and meet up finally with Aslan. I know. It's something so familiar to you that you just can't quite figure it out. And I didn't think that was enough, so I added this. Like big figures or big events all involve choirs because the amount of power or political overreach that they have, like Aslan or the White Witch, or big events like battles and the beginning to openers. It's just either all of Narnia speaking for half or the other half, good or evil, and then it's the surrounding area of just tension chorus, like a nice lovely Greek chorus. I love the drums. Hold on, what are they? The Act 2 opener, this is right after everything. We're going to skip ahead timeline wise, lol. So great. And you know what that is? It's the similar chord progressions and sound to the beginning siren, which we always love because it's called Contemplation of War, because there's another war happening, not one that you get to witness and stand by. So now you actually get to be a part of it. This is when Peter comes onto the stage from like a full black stage. This impact. This drone, because it's all just mental torment at this point that just really toil with Peter's mind, and I really wanted to emphasize that. And then we have the choir doing fifth jumps, again with sign player, because this is the choir. This is Narnia. Choir to him sounds wrong. And so, what do? Add clarinets. Siren sounding. That same F5 sharp 11. Some resolve. Some more resolve, but sounding like the siren again. And then a little bit more of a resolve, but still some crunch. And it's always with those ending notes that I really like to land on. It's kind of like the Broadway button, but instead of the bow, I wanted to end on that little high note rise up and then just trail off. And this flute solo, which is flute. And it's that same, it's a similar one. Literally the flute sound that plays for Mr. Tumnus, where it's like doo da doo da doo da doo da, right when then the flute goes crazy and goes because he's scared. Next up, we have Shush, She's Here. The wood nymphs that are in the show. Yeah, there's wood nymphs in the show that help, clear the stage. This show was written so long ago that it described what people were doing, which is, great for a dumb person like me. But the wood nymphs, I didn't know they actually spoke. And so a rising hiss noise, and then more bring back those strings that are always a part of her theme, those and then just some more drums that we had in the beginning, and then just have her theme kind of played out within the big boom snow sounds. She always has the typical strings accompanied to her every step. It's those ones. It's those exact ones. Hold on. Those ones. Those flutters of strings. Those horrifying, like, crows of strings. And then we have these strings getting kind of messed with. These labs, scary strings, cool. Oh, great. They're just cool, scary strings. Love it. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that cute? We have, what's this? This is, I assume, the cube. This thing literally saved a lot of the synthy sounding designs. It's the gnarly 808. I really need something to open up that lower end. And so it really couldn't just be this thing. That's just drums. I'm always proud of a good flutter. And then obviously those. Yep. And that's when we have a big meeting regarding the stone table. And moving on from that, we have the last track, Disgrace, Death, and Resurrection. These 3 different tracks, Disgrace and Death were put in to one for the album. Resurrection was a separate track, whereas Disgrace, Death, and Resurrection, all 3 were made perfectly. You guys can't even hear me. Because it was just easier to have that nice little nod, because it was Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Disgrace, Death, and Resurrection. Similar syllable count. Aslan having to realize that he must trade his life for Edmund's, because the White Witch had Edmund's life to her rights, and so to be it a fair trade, Aslan sacrificed his life. Lucy and Susan talking with Aslan, accompanying him because he is alone, he's afraid. Which is, finally, we get to see some more emotion in him, other than just proud stoicism. More strings, more snakes, but now we're accompanied by more shakes and stuff. You want to know why? We're accompanied by more of, a lot of sounds, because in come the crows. This is a hard thing to, I'll be honest, score for. Even though it is easy after the fact, it is difficult in the moment. Because at the very end of Act 1, she calls upon all the evil woodland Narnian creatures to her side, and she calls upon everybody, the ogres and all that stuff. But in our show, we don't have a lot of bigger cast members. A lot of the adults played the main characters, and a lot of the kids played the ensemble, and a lot of the teenagers played the mains. Which, that's a great even mix. But that only leaves room for somewhat small or medium-sized creatures. So what did we do? We put crows in. Crows are a bit hard to score for, because you could go the easy DSE Ray, and I was like, no, they're under the White Witch's control, so I'm just going to add them into more string sounds and just be more sound effects. So that's Disgrace. You could hear some of that in part 1. This is once they already gagged him, tied him up, put him on the table, shaved him. This is the roar of Aslan and the slow decay of him in pain. Because lightning strikes the table. What else are you going to do? Don't you just love that cinematic? It's the cube again. See, the cube does so much work. It's the Brahm transition B. Don't you just love Brahm? Next week, string channels, because not all of his theme is here. Not all of his big glorious orchestras here anymore. Lastly, Resurrection, and then I'm going to close out the video for tonight. The White Witch has proudly taken her army of crows to Peter and the rest of the Pevensie and Narnian creatures before the big war. And while we see an empty, cut in half stone tablet, we see Susan and Lucy crying at the foot of it, but the body is not there. Until the magic returns and you get these horns. They sound fine, of course, but you can never really truly be sure on how things are going to go. So this just sounds so nice. The French horn is always great. The French horn is just always a banger move to have, and then it will just keep going down. Then we have these horns which come in because it's a triumphant moment, because it's the revival, it's the resurrection of Aslan. And these things are kind of being the underweight. Because, surprise, why do we have rising strings and string chatter, even though, why do we have that, even though that's the witch's thing? It is, until you master in the fact that both are now just as formidable. He sounded so much more formidable after he came back to life. So now they have the same strings. Sounds so interesting. Because it's Micah's choir, I'm pretty sure, from Labs. Which we hear more of later on, but this is kind of the start. Especially this choir female. Love that part. I love this female choir, or this choir long. Just this whole thing just sounds so good. But yeah, this choir female sounds good. And then we have this, and where is it? This string and this little synth is so important to me, because you're like, oh, Peter got his own cool thing, and then Edmund has his own cool thing with the witch, and then Lucy has her own cool thing with Mr. Tumnus. This is Susan's thing, because Susan and Aslan, in the movie at least, they spent time together up until the point where literally it's her and Aslan at the very end, whereas the rest of the family gets to go and sort of leave Narnia. In a sense, they're like going on different boats. Again, I haven't seen the movies. All I know is that Susan is left there behind, and Aslan is like, I am in your world. I go by many names in your world. But this is my tribute to the actor, Scarlett. Scarlett is just an amazing person. One of the Pevensie kids, Susan. Oh, this is my little nod to her being my favorite person, being my favorite, well, not my favorite person. No, I'm kidding. One of my bestest friends in the world, and this is my tribute to them. It's one of my favorite chord progressions that luckily matched with the themes and the horns here. It's this. It just sounds like Spider-Man, but it has that old classic feeling. And then it goes down. So yeah, it goes F major 7 down to F6, F major 7 again, and then F, and then F minor 6, down all the way, weirdly, sort of, to C major 7, back up again to F, and then back to F major 7, because that's my favorite chord progression. I love it so much. It just sounds so good and so strange and so lovely and so lo-fi. It's just the major 7 chords. So F major 7 and C major 7. That's my favorite chords. She got it, and she played an amazing character. And with that being said, that is part 1 of through the wardrobe. This is an amazing score that I did. I can't wait to show you guys more of it when it comes out, and when you get to see all of it and all of its beautiful glory. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you all enjoy. If you want to see more music producer breakdowns like this, just like and comment other things you want me to do, because I'll do them anyways. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time for the next breakdown. Bye.